Hello everybody, Saturday was such a good day down at the sand dunes. Sunday morning found us an hour earlier, heading for the dunes. There's my little dog sat there, she knows where we're going. As we was coming into Weston, the sun was out, it looked like it was going to be a really nice day. And I was a strong wind, so I was looking forward to it. As we drove along the beach front and turned into the beach itself, we could see the kite boarders. They were having a whale of a time. Trouble was, it was high tide, so two things: strong winds, high tides, a lot of spray off of the water means all the sand is wet. So by the time we finished flying, the glider was covered in damp sand. I cleaned it today, she's immaculate again. Anyway, I got out of the car, quick word with the kite boarders there rigging up, and I made my way along the beach. Took my little venti with me. I don't usually fly on a venti, but on the beach you do need to be wary. You need to get, because the wind speed changes from the beach to the top. On the beach here it's 20 to 23, and on the top 30, 35. You wouldn't believe the Venturi over a little sand dune like this. And if you ever get blown over the back, you'd know all about the rotor. Anyway, back to the van. Had a quick cup of tea, and then I got me glider off and I started making my way along to the takeoff point. Now at the takeoff point there's like the reason we're down here is because this bowl, like a bowl in the course, looked good for giving Adam some training. Yeah, I got out there and my pit wing was seized up. I've changed them now. I put solid pins in with clips. But after a bit of WD, I hate spraying anything on the glider though on the beach, because that just, thank God WD does evaporate and it dries off after I wiped it. But otherwise it holds the sand, which is no good. Anyway, the glider soon rigged and John turned up. John comes down on his bus pass. He is 74, so down for a cup of tea with John. The wind's blowing a hoolie, so there's no mad rush. We both put our harnesses on. John got the second harness without a stirrup on that I take down for him. But we decided it's going to be time to have a fly, so I'm going up to the bowl to take off in this bowl, but in front of the bowl on the sand, because it is strong wind. But now, not having flown this end for many years, talking 30 years plus, I'm about to learn a lesson that I learned back then. I hope I can explain this to you. How the wind hits the hill and goes up and over the hill and forms what's called a venturi on top. The airspeed speeds up. In front of it, there's me now. I'm in front of this little bowl now, and I'm trying to feed the bar out to go back into the bowl and then brake to the left to fly off out of the bowl effect and along the beach. But now I just can't get out the bowl. If you notice, the wind is off about 40 degrees from the left. If you watch me, I'm flying, pointing to the left down the beach. But watch the John on the ground, I'm not going anywhere. See, I try to turn left and I get turned back right. I try to turn left and I get turned back right. What's happening, you're getting a Venturi effect, not only over the top of the hill, but sideways, from the wind coming sideways along the hill. I'll show you a couple of little drawings I've done in a minute. But what happens is, you're trying, I'm not saying I couldn't have flown at this time now, but it's all down to having the nerve to feed the bar out and go up and back to get out of the bowl effect there, so with your wings higher and it wouldn't affect it. As it is now, my wings like barely above the gorse and in this effect. But if I'd have had the nerve to feed it out possibly that little bit more, I would have got out of it. But then again, I might have got blown over the back. So it's a case of pilot nerve. And if the wind was on the hill, it would have been okay, but off to the side, it really does make it hard. As I say, I have put a couple of little drawings on, which hopefully I'll demonstrate it for you in a minute. But this looks quite fun, but it isn't. Take it from me, it's really hard work. And another thing, this glider is not, you cannot get enough force sideways holding it on the bar. You need to be in the A-frame. Now, by now I've learned it and I'm desperate to get on that bottom bar. But as soon as you're on the bottom bar, you see, I go over to the left, the wing starts to go back, I've got to correct to come back out. glider comes back out, I crack to go back in, and I just cannot crack out of that bowl. It seems silly, you're talking about a bowl that's 30 foot across. There it is there, and 7 or 8 foot high. See how high the bushes are? The wind is coming from the side and rushing around and turning up into that bowl, and my wings just above that gorse there on the right is just going into faster air, and I cannot turn. There's a side drawing of it. There is a hell of a wind shear and lift, and there, I hope you can see that. The wind comes along the hill and then tries to level out along in front of the gorse and then sweeps up into this like little bowl. There's the bowl there. Later in the day Adam was there doing some ground runs, but it was unbelievable. Anyway, went back and had a cup of tea, took another wind day, and as I say, Adam turned up. His glider was packed away all wrong. You wouldn't believe, we found out after why it was packed away wrong, because when he was stripping it down later in the day, the first thing he done, took the B bar off, and then left tidying the glider instead of pulling the glider up, turning it over, then taking it off. Anyway, he had 7, 8 or 9 attempts. I done a few with him, both me and John on his wires, but eventually he got so as he could lift it above his head, get it under control and do it all on his own. So I got out front, took a few shots. This is all in a matter of 3/4 an hour. He's really getting confident. He's actually landing and then trying to do moon hopping in front, so that's how easy you can learn on the dunes. But it was a shame, because while he was trying to fly, the wind had dropped. But in the meantime, because the tide's gone out, when the tide hits rock bottom, it tends to drop. But once the tide is fully out, it picks up again. So Pete has his cup of tea. Now I'm coming back to give it another try. But now it's just not strong enough. It's strong enough to lift you off the ground from in the front, but it's not strong enough. If you feed the bar out, it'll take you backwards. At stall speed, you're stalling and you're not going back. So as you can see that I stalled actually dropped into the sand. So you can't slow down so as you get blown back. Then pull on when you get into better lift. You're at a position where it wants to hold you up, but you can't go back to get. I hope you know what I mean. But anyway, I had a few goes. By now the day's more or less over. We've had a very good day messing about. Lovely glider. You watched it. It holds you up if you literally flying on the stall. Now you can see out in front of the hill there. I'm basically in more or less horizontal air, but you can see the angle of attack I'm at. Anyway, I decided I've had enough now. We've had a good day. Pack up and start going back. And by the time we've done a few minutes chatting there, we start going back, and bloody hell if it don't pick up. So by now we're halfway back to the van, and John says, well, I haven't had a go yet, I think I might as well give it a try. So we slips John in, and fair enough, in front of the course as we take off up the other end. No bowl effect there to mess him up. Just straight in front of the course, and up he went. The wind by now has come more on the hill, which was an advantage, and it was strong, and it doesn't look it there, but John was getting chucked from pillar to post. Take it from me, it's never smooth on them dunes. And today's been a weird old day, or this day, sorry, today is now the day after. But it was a funny old set of conditions. But a good day was had by everybody. The wind boarders, or the kite boarders as they're called, and the sail boarders. I was brilliant watching the sail boarders. There's a few good guys down there, really good at it. And us, and Adam. My dog was a bit pissy because while we was teaching Adam and letting John take off, I had to tie her up. So she was glad untying her with the camera in my mouth wasn't easy. Anyway, John had 10-15 minutes. It was too rough to want much more, and as I said, it was late in the day. And it's an hour later today than yesterday. Same for the tide. So yeah, it was rough going, but as I say, so was old John. John's all rough, and he's like me from the old school. While he was coming down, he didn't just come down, it looks easier, but it took him ages to get down. It shows you how good the lift is on the dunes. You think you can't get up, but when you're up you can't get down. But the only danger on the dunes, right at the 40 mile an hour, I've flown these dunes on 42 mile an hour winds on top, and the only danger is letting the bar out and going back. But this day, from mine and John's point of view, when the wind was light, we'd been better off up our other end, where we could have took off on the top, and when it was strong, we could have took off in front of the course like we did there. So anyway, John got on the bus, he got his bus pass. Me and Adam and Adam's girlfriend stood there looking at the sky, and he didn't lie, it was a nice day today. Adam loaded his glider onto his little Ferrari, I think it is he got. I loaded mine on. With that we all left. I had to come back, I left my wheels on the beach. But anyway, a good day was had by all. It's just a shame that more people don't get older gliders, there's plenty of them about, and get down the dunes and have a bit of fun like we used to. And Jason Board and his dad used to be basically in church down there. The only oldest down there now is me and John. Anyway, thanks for watching. Pete out.